Hello everybody, welcome back to Reading for Vocabulary. I'm Brian Stuart. We're on Lesson 8, Too Cool. Too cool? What does that mean? 너무 좋아요? No, it doesn't mean that. In this lesson, we're going to learn about the meaning of too cool. So I'll explain what that means later, and we're going to learn about music trends in the 1990s. So what are some music trends in the 1990s? Before we do that, we could talk about 1990s music trends in Korea. What was a trend in Korea? A very popular one. Do you know these guys, right? Is it Soktaeji wa Idol, right? Soktaeji and the Boys, right? They were very famous in the 1990s. Maybe you don't know them. You were too young, right? But maybe you heard about them, right? Where are they now? Do you know? Are they old men like me? I don't know. But it's interesting. Every generation has a different style or trend, right? Your trend, I'm sorry, will be gone in about 10 years, but there will be a new trend that will come up. So trends constantly change. Okay, so before we talk about the reading passage, though, let's talk about some words. Let's learn some vocabulary. Number 1, foolish. Now this man looks very foolish, right? It's very foolish for a grown man to be riding a tricycle. This is a tricycle, not a bicycle, but a tricycle. A tricycle is for kids, not old men. He looks very foolish. We could also say ridiculous. 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 Okay? This man wearing a hat and has a tie, he's riding a tricycle, that's ridiculous. It's foolish. Okay, next one. Number 2, happy and energetic. What can we say about this woman, right? She looks happy, she looks energetic, she looks upbeat. Upbeat is happy or energetic. If you say that I feel upbeat today, that means that you're happy and you have lots of energy. Okay, next one. What's this guy doing? He's trying to look like something else. What is he trying to look like? Maybe an ape, or maybe a monkey, right? So what is he doing? He's trying to look like something else. He's trying to be like something else. He is imitating. Imitate. Imitate means to try and look like something else. You imitate like an animal, or you imitate another person, right? So kids will do this a lot. Even adults will do that. We see something, maybe we're playing, so we pretend we're like a monkey or some other animal. We're imitating that. Or sometimes people look at other people and say, wow, that person's really cool. That person is really interesting. I want to be like that person. So they will imitate that other person. So you can imitate animals, you can imitate people. Okay, next one. What's going on here? She's wearing jeans that fit her body. They're tight, but these jeans are huge. They're very big. So not tight. There's a special word for that. We can say baggy. But baggy really refers to like a style of fashion. If this woman puts on these jeans, I would not say they're baggy. I'd say they're too big. They'll fall down, right? Baggy jeans would be okay on her waist, but they would be very wide on the legs, right? And a baggy shirt is a shirt that's too big and it's very loose on her. So baggy clothes, it's a fashion style. We'll talk about that later. But baggy, not tight, very loose fitting clothes. Very loose fitting clothes are baggy clothes. So are your clothes tight or are your clothes loose? Are they baggy? Okay. Next one. This is a good picture to show. It's a stage in a process of change. This, of course, is the moon. And if we look at the moon, we know that the moon changes shape in the sky. There's different stages. We can say phase. What phase is the moon in? We have the full moon, right? Full moon. Whoops. Full moon. We have half moon. And although it's kind of weird to look at it, right? This would be no moon because we don't see that, right? That's when the Earth's light is reflected in the moon. It's kind of like this one here, right? Okay? We don't see the moon in the sky, okay? So, full moon, half moon, no moon, those are the phases of the moon. And they change every month, don't they? So, depending on the month, you can see full moon, half moon, or no moon, and that is the phase of the moon. But we're talking about the moon here, but if you think about it, many things go through a phase. You go through phases. Human beings go through phases. We have different stages. Baby, child, teenager, young adult, middle-aged adult, and old person. These are all stages. We all go through phases. Not just people, but all living things, right? Animals, insects, plants. They all have phases. Okay? Okay, next one. Happening unexpectedly. This poor woman, right? She looks like she's in New York. It's raining. She doesn't have an umbrella. Why? Because it suddenly started to rain. Maybe she didn't know. She didn't have any idea it was going to rain, so she didn't carry an umbrella. Now it's suddenly raining. She's getting wet. It's a very, very poor situation, very sad situation. Okay, next one. Oh, that was fast. To feel sorry. I regret hitting the button too fast, but that's okay. I don't regret that too much. Okay? When you feel sorry about something, especially when you did something wrong to another person, right? Then you regret what you've done. When you have done something wrong, you feel sorry about your actions, you regret your actions. I'm sorry I did that. I regret doing that. Okay? That's when you feel sorry about your actions, something you did. Next one. What does this man look like? He looks calm and gentle. Yeah, okay. He's mellow. Mellow. That's an interesting word. It rhymes with yellow, right? Mellow yellow. Okay, mellow. If you say something is mellow, it's very calm. It's very gentle. Very laid back. You could also say laid back. Laid back, right? Calm, gentle, no stress. It's very mellow. Oh, very cool, right? Very gentle, very mellow. Okay, feeling. Now, this guy looks like he's sad or bored, but that's not the feeling we're looking for. We're looking for another word that means feeling. And that, of course, is mood, right? When we talk about mood, we're talking about feeling. For example, are you in a good mood? If you're in a good mood, you feel happy. You're happy, you're energetic, you're in a good mood. Or, oh, be careful, the teacher is in a bad mood. A bad mood. A bad mood, somebody is upset or angry or stressed out. So you can be in a good mood or you can be in a bad mood. It talks about what are you feeling these days? How do you feel? Okay, so I'm in a good mood, I'm in a bad mood, depending on your feeling. Okay, well, what's going on here? Informal words used by particular people. Now, this is kind of funny because the word we're looking for is slang, but it doesn't just mean that people who look like this guy use slang. Everybody uses slang, right? In some stage of their life, right? In some part of their life, everybody uses slang. Slang is just really informal words. Informal words. Like if I say, hey brah, hey dude, right? Instead of saying hello to a person, a man, I don't call him a man, I call him a dude. Dude is more, it's like slang. Hey dude, what's up? How's it hanging, right? What's hanging? You know, what's going on? That would be slang, okay? Maybe I'm getting old, I'm forgetting all my slang. But anyway, slang is informal words. Words that are not formal. And we use slang with your friends. It's not proper to use slang when you're at work or when you're talking to your teacher or when you're talking to your parents. Usually slang is used among friends. Okay, next one. This is kind of funny. He's a cute little kid, right? His clothes are way too big for him. His shoes are really big, not tight, loose. Remember when we talked about baggy? Very similar, right? Baggy, whoops, whoa, stop. Okay, baggy and loose are very similar together, right? It just means they're not tight. It's not tight, it's loose or baggy. Okay. 12, to have something on your body. So she looks actually like a model. What is she doing though? This is an interesting looking dress, isn't it? What is she doing? She's wearing this dress. Now be careful with wear, okay? Wear means that you have something on your body. It doesn't mean that you put it on, right? That's different. If you say, what will you wear today? That means, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? That means, what are you wearing now? What is on your body? But in the morning, you put on clothes. Put on clothes. So you can say, I will put on a shirt, right? I will put on shoes. And then during the day, you wear those clothes. Okay? So wear. Wear is an irregular verb. It changes form for the past. So we say wear, wore, worn. Wear, wore, worn. Okay, next one. Wow, what are these guys doing here? The part of the body that bends in the center of the leg. So these people are not standing, right? They're kind of on their what? On this part of the leg that bends in the middle, we call that the knee. Knee. So I'm talking about, what are these guys doing here? They're not standing on their feet, they are kneeling. To kneel, that's interesting. This is a verb, to kneel. It's when you stand on your knees, right? You get off your feet and you're like this, that is to kneel. And you can see it comes from knee, right? Because they're on their knees. So knee is the part of your leg, this part here, and if you sit down and are just on your knees, then you are kneeling. To kneel. And you can see it comes from that word knee. Interesting. Okay. Of course you have one of this in your book bag or in your room at home. I hope so. This is a book that tells you what words mean. Of course you should have one in the Korean language, but maybe you have a Korean English one too that says what words in Korean, what do they mean, or what word is it in English. Right? What is it? It's, of course, a dictionary. 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 So it's actually four words, four sounds. Dictionary. 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 And that, of course, is a book that tells you what words mean. If you want to know what a word means, you look it up. Look it up in a dictionary. Look it up in a dictionary. What does this word mean? I don't know. Look it up in a dictionary. Okay. Whoa. Cool guy, right? Okay. Music in which words are spoken fast. It's a type of music where people say the words very fast. And actually, it's kind of like poetry, but they're singing the words, and they sing them very quickly. What is it? Do you know? It's rap. Rap is a musical style. It's actually a singing style where people sing the words very quickly. Okay? And it's like somebody, it's not just like reading a poem. It's like reading a poem to music and to a beat and very quickly. And many of the words rhyme. In other words, they sound similar. Okay. Last we have to imitate. This guy looks like Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean, right? So he's imitating Johnny Depp. And we talked about this, to copy. So remember we talked about imitate before, to act like somebody else or to act like something else. We said that's to imitate. But we can also say it means also to copy. So you can copy the behavior of an animal, or you can copy the behavior or the dress or the style of another person. And that is to copy. Okay, let's talk about the vocabulary exercises. Here we have synonyms. Remember what a synonym means? It means a word that has a similar meaning to another word. A synonym. Match the words in the box with their synonyms listed below. Synonyms, same or similar meaning. Okay, so our words are, in the box, phase, imitate, suddenly, regret. Those are our words. 4 words. Now we have to match these words to their synonyms. And down here we have copy, repent, abruptly, and stage. Okay, so number 1, copy. Well, that's easy, right? Because we learned both of those words as part of the vocabulary. First, we learned one word, and then we learned copy. Remember, I just talked about when you copy something, you're behaving very similar to somebody else. You are what? You are imitating them. So copy and imitate have similar meanings. They're very close to meaning. They're the same thing. Okay? To copy is to imitate. Now, number 2 is a little 힘들어 because repent. We didn't learn that word, repent. So look it up in your dictionary. If you do, you will find out that it means something here. I will define what repent means. Repent is something, let's say you do something and you feel sorry about what you did, so you repent. You say, oh, I wish I didn't do that. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I did that. So if you are sorry about something you did, if you are sorry about your actions, what word means that? Here, regret. You regret what you did. Repent is regret. Okay, next one, 3, abruptly. Again, abruptly means something happens and it's not expected. Something happens quickly, you don't expect it. So what word did we learn that means something happens unexpectedly? It, of course, means suddenly. Suddenly. Abruptly and suddenly are the same meaning. Here we have stage. Okay, now we learned the word stage, and part of the definition for stage was this other word. They used this other word, and the other word, of course, was phase. And I talked about phases of the moon. Actually, this was the word we learned, right? And stage was in the definition. So we talked about the moon. There are different stages or phases of the moon. And there also, when we talk about people or any living thing, all living things go through different stages. Okay, that's synonyms. What about antonyms? Antonym means the opposite. So synonym means the same, antonym is opposite, 반대로, right? So match the words in the box with their antonyms, opposite meanings, listed below. The words that we studied are ridiculous, mellow, upbeat, and baggy. Okay, I didn't repeat all those, but ridiculous, mellow, upbeat, and baggy. These are the words that are the antonyms of the words in the box. Number 1, we have violent. Violent is something that is, of course, very aggressive, very angry, and really, bad. So somebody who is violent is the opposite of what? Opposite, 반대로. What is the opposite of violent here? The opposite of violent would be mellow. Remember, mellow means calm and gentle. Gentle is the opposite of violent. So you can have a violent person or you can have a gentle person. They are opposites. 2, sad. What is the opposite of sad? What word did we look at, did we learn that is the opposite of sad? Which word up here means happy and energetic? That word, of course, is upbeat. And, of course, that would be the opposite of sad. Somebody who's sad is not happy. They're not energetic, right? They're just sad. Okay. 3, sensible. Now, we didn't learn that word, okay? But we're looking for the opposite of sensible. What does sensible mean? If we look it up in the dictionary, you will see that sensible means acting in a normal, ordinary way or using common sense, right? In other words, acting in the proper way. If you see a man in a business suit who is being very polite to other people, he's being sensible. But if you see a man in a business suit riding a little tricycle, right? That's not sensible. That's very silly. That's what? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So sensible and ridiculous are opposites, antonyms. Number 4 is tight. That's very easy. We looked at that as part of the definition for one of the words. We saw the woman wearing tight jeans, and she was holding some very big jeans that would be what? They would be baggy on her. So tight and baggy are opposites or antonyms. Okay, so that's a review of these words here. Now that you have a good idea of what these words mean, we'll see them in the reading passage. Let's go over that in just a few moments. Okay, welcome back to the reading section. Let's go over it together. Now remember, before I said the lesson title is called Too Cool. And what does that mean? So we'll find out in the reading passage, but we have to read a little bit into the passage to find out. Anyway, this passage is about music and music trends. That's the other thing we're learning about in this lesson. So let's start with the reading passage here. Do you like to listen to music? Some people listen to music to change their mood. An upbeat song can make us feel happy. So this passage starts off with talking about music. And why do people usually listen to music? And they start with a question, of course, too. Do you like to listen to music? Of course, everybody likes to listen to music, right? Of course, everybody likes it. Because why? Some people listen to music to change their mood. So, if you are in a bad mood, remember I talked to you guys before about good mood and bad mood? Some people who may be in a bad mood, maybe they feel sad or they're upset or they're stressed out. They listen to music to change their mood, to go from a bad mood to a good mood. So that's a good way. If you find you're upset or you're sad, you're stressed out, listen to music. It can help you change your mood from bad to good. An upbeat song, a happy, energetic song can make us feel happy also, right? So if we're sad, we listen to an upbeat song, then we become happy. Okay, next one. A slow song might make us calm and mellow. But music can change more than just our emotions. It can change the way we dress and talk, too. So what this passage is doing, it's starting off with a very broad topic, music, getting a little narrower, saying that people listen to music because it can change their mood. We heard about if you listen to a happy song, you can become happy. Here we listen to a slow song, might make us calm and mellow. So if we're stressed out, we're upset, if we listen to a slow song, it makes us calm, gentle, okay, calm down, right? So it makes us change our mood in that way. Then we get a little more narrow to our topic, to the topic of the passage. But music can change more than just our emotions. So we're not just talking about changing our emotions, we're also talking about changing the way we dress and talk. And that right there, that is what we would call the thesis statement. That's what this passage is about. Many reading passages will do this. They'll start off with a large topic, right? Music. And they'll start narrowing that topic to a specific statement. They started narrowing it, talking about how music can change emotions. That's still kind of general. And then we got more narrow, more focused on the thesis of this reading passage. What is this reading passage about? This reading passage is about how can music change the way we dress and talk. So the rest of the passage is going to talk about that, how it changes the way people dress and how they talk. In the 1990s, rap music became very popular. Before rap music, people would sing the words to a song. In rap music, the words in a song are spoken very quickly. Lots of people started listening to rap music. So here we're talking about a special time, a certain time in history that's important for music. We have a new musical trend. And in the 1990s, rap music, we talked about that. What is rap music? It's like poetry that is spoken or sung very quickly. Rap music became very popular. Many people liked it. Also, you know, when you think about music or movies or fashion, somebody does it and then boom, almost everybody does it, right? It becomes very popular. It booms, right? Everybody does it or everybody is listening to it. That's what happened with rap music. It became very popular in the 1990s. Before rap music, so before the 1990s, people would sing the words to a song. So people who sang, they would just sing them normally. They just, you know, it's singing, you know, a musical talent with good, beautiful voices. But in rap music, the words in the song are spoken, not sung, spoken very quickly. So rap musicians weren't singing the words, they were just saying them very quickly. So the words became more important, and also the beat, but not so much the musical quality of the person's voice. Okay, so it's a different style. Lots of people started listening to rap music. It became very popular, so lots of people. Of course, it's something very popular, many people have to follow it, or many people have to like it. Okay, so rap music became very popular, this style. After a while, teenagers did more than just listen to it. They started to imitate their favorite rap stars. They wanted to be just like them. Many rap stars wore big, loose-fitting clothes, like this guy here, right? So after a while, rap music became popular. So after a while, after some time passed, right? People started listening to it. Wow, rap music, it's very interesting. But after a while, teenagers did more than just listen to it. You do more than just one thing, right? So rap music became popular. Many people listened to it. But after a while, people didn't just listen to it. They did more than that. What did they do? They started to imitate their favorite rap stars. Imitate means to copy or to act in a way that's similar to somebody else. That's what we learned for the vocabulary, right? They started to copy those people. They said, wow, he's a good rap singer or a rapper. I like him. I'm going to imitate him. How did they imitate them? They wanted to be just like them, right? They wanted to imitate them. They wanted to be just like them. So many rap stars wore big, loose-fitting clothes. So did the fans, right? So the fans did too. And you can see these big, loose-fitting clothes were also good so that they could dance or move to the rap music, right? And so that's what's going on here. Suddenly, many teenagers began dressing the same way. So they began dressing. Schools were filled with students wearing baggy clothing. They bought jeans that were 3 sizes too big. Some even wore shirts that came down to their knees. Okay, so this is one way that fans of rap music would imitate their favorite rap stars. We just saw that rap stars wore loose-fitting clothes, baggy clothes. So many teenagers were the people who liked rap music. It's always teenagers who catch on to the next big musical trend, isn't it? Right? Just like Soktaeji wa Idol and HOT, right? The teenagers will go crazy about them, right? And they're the ones that are the fans. So many teenagers began dressing. That's how they imitated their stars. They began wearing the same clothes. I'm going to dress like them. I'm imitating them. I'm copying them. So I'm going to dress the same way to imitate or to copy somebody. Schools, of course, teenagers go to schools. So schools with teenagers were filled, right? All of the students with students wearing baggy clothing. So it's like, well, what happened, right? If you went away for a couple of years to another country and you came back, you'd be like, whoa, what happened? Everybody was wearing normal clothes before. Now everybody's wearing baggy clothing. Baggy clothing is jeans that were 3 sizes too big. Can you wear jeans that are 3 sizes too big? They'd fall down. You need a good belt, right? So they were wearing big, oversized, loose jeans. Some even, not just jeans, but even shirts that came down to their knees. So imagine if I'm wearing a shirt and the shirt is very long, so long that it comes down to my knees, that's a really big shirt, right? So this shows that there was a big change in the style of clothing that teenagers wore because they wanted to copy their favorite rap stars. They wanted to be like them. They wanted to imitate them, so they began dressing the same way, like the rap stars. And here we can see an example of this, right? We can see that these, look at these pants. They're really big, right? They're very baggy. Of course, these types of clothes will help her dance in different ways, and people danced in different ways to rap music. It's very energetic and a lot of movement. And some people were dancing, like before, they would dance on their hands, they would spin on their backs. The clothing is very comfortable to be able to do that. And so that's why baggy clothing was so popular. Okay. Music can also change the way people talk. Look up the word cool in the dictionary. It means not warm or a little cold. But in many songs, the word cool means good and fun. This is an example of slang. Okay, so before we saw how music changed the way people acted. What did they do? They started dressing differently. But that was one way. This is a second way. Can also change the way people talk. So that's the second way that influenced how people behave. So music can change how people dress. Music can change how people talk. And this is the second way. So, one example. Look up the word cool in the dictionary. Remember when we talked about dictionary, I said a very common expression is look it up in the dictionary. Look it up in a dictionary. If you want to know what the word cool means, look it up in the dictionary. If you look up the word cool in the dictionary, it will say it means not warm. It means a little cold. Not really cold, but a little cold. Okay? So maybe you want to put on a long sleeve shirt instead of a short sleeve shirt. But you don't need a big heavy coat. It's just cool. It's not cold. Like in the fall, it becomes cool. Not cold yet. It's not winter, but it's cool. Too cool. So remember before we talked about too cool. Does it mean really cold? No, not in this sense. Because in many songs, the word cool means good and fun. So this is a different meaning of cool. This is an example of slang. Slang is informal words. So slang is hard to understand, especially for older people, because of course the older generation knows cool means not warm, but a little cold. But then the new generation comes along and they use a word in a different way. And that's slang. It means something else. It doesn't mean cold. It means good and fun. Hey man, that's cool. That means it's interesting. It's good, right? Wow man, your sneakers are really cool. Wow, I really like your shirt. It's cool, man. Okay? So cool, good, or fun, not cold. Okay? So that's an example of slang, informal speech. Today, many kids will say that their new toy is cool. They are not saying their new toy feels cold. They are saying their new toy is fun to play with. So this is more explanation about the slang word cool. Today, these days, many kids will say that their new toy is cool. So kids will get a new toy like maybe a little Game Boy or maybe an MP3 player or some other toy that's cool. And of course, they are not saying, they don't mean that the new toy feels cold. That's not what they mean. They mean their new toy is fun to play with. It's fun, it's cool, it's interesting. I like it. So cool means something that's good. It's good. I like it. It's cool. Not it's cold. It's cool. It's fun. Okay. For most people, this change is usually just a phase. As teenagers grow older, most of them stop copying their favorite music stars. And this is very common, right? Like I said before, for most people, this change is usually just a phase. It's just a stage in their life, right? They start doing this, but later on they'll change. They'll stop doing it, right? As teenagers grow older, most of them, that's interesting, most of them, and for most people, they stop copying their favorite music stars. Unfortunately, a few people don't, right? So they're still 20 years old or they're 30 years old and they're still behaving like a teenager. That's a little ridiculous, right? But that's what happens, okay? So that's what it means for most people. Not all people, but most people. I hope most of you guys who are watching, you'll get over that. You'll get over that phase. People go through different phases in their life. We talked about that. You act differently as a baby, as a child, as a teenager, than as a young adult. People go through phases. This change is usually it's only a phase. It will change later on. As teenagers grow older, most of them stop copying. They stop imitating their favorite music stars. Of course, if you see somebody acting like this and dressed like this, you don't expect that that person is 20 years old or 30 years old. They look like teenagers, okay? Some of them even regret it. They look back at the clothes they used to wear and laugh. Imitating people seems so ridiculous to them now. Kind of what I said before, right? Some of them, so most people change, but some of those people who change, so some of them is talking about most people who change. Of the people who, change and stop copying, some of them even regret it. They feel sorry maybe for what they did or how they acted. I don't know why, but some people do, because they look back at the clothes they used to wear. They don't wear those clothes anymore, right? They used to wear them. And they laugh. I wore those clothes? My hairstyle was like that? Oh, I regret that, right? Imitating people seems so ridiculous to them now. So why did I do that? I was a teenager, right? A lot of people will do that. As they get older, they look back at what they did when they were younger, and they think, oh, that was kind of silly. It was kind of ridiculous. Why did I do that? But that's just part of growing older. Everybody does that, right? Everybody goes through that. Okay, now let's go over the reading comprehension questions for the passage. Here, of course, we have to choose the best answer. Starting here, teenagers started to imitate their favorite rap stars by doing something. What action did these teenagers do to imitate, to copy their favorite rap stars? What were they doing? And look at this. By, we use by, so we need ing, 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 ing. By wearing, listening, wearing, or buying. So, A, by wearing tight clothing. So, imitate means to copy. Does that mean that rap stars were wearing tight clothing? So, teenagers also started wearing tight clothing? No, that was not what was said in the reading passage. Actually, the opposite happened. Not tight clothing, but loose clothing. Okay. B, listening to mellow music. No, that was not said in the reading passage. Teenagers didn't start listening to mellow music to imitate the rap stars. That's not true. How about C, wearing baggy clothing? If we look at it, C and A are opposites, aren't they? They are pandero, right? So we said not tight clothing, the opposite, loose clothing or baggy clothing. So C is the right answer, right? Wearing baggy clothing. That's the right answer. What about D? Buying cold toys? That's just kind of like a joke, right? Because they're trying to trick you there, because cool doesn't mean cold. And when they talked about cool toys or cold toys, they were talking about the use of the words cool as slang. In other words, cool means fun and interesting. So children who get toys that they think are fun say, wow, my new toy is cool. It doesn't mean cold. So this is kind of like they're trying to trick you here, okay? But actually the right answer is C. Teenagers started to imitate their favorite rap stars by wearing baggy clothing. So schools were filled with students who wore baggy clothing. Okay. Number 3. Being beep is important for many teenagers. Being what is important for teenagers? Being baggy? How can a person be baggy? That's weird. Oh, I'm baggy. That's 너무 이상해. Okay, well, that's not right. Clothes can be baggy, but people can't be baggy. Being cool. People can be cool, and teenagers are very interested in being cool, fun. By the way, another meaning of cool is fashionable. Fashionable, or, you know, being like other people. So teenagers are very interested in being cool. That's the right answer. Not cold. Now, people can be cold, right? Cold doesn't just mean temperature. Cold can also be like if somebody says, hey, hello, and I don't say hello back. I just ignore somebody. I'm being cold, okay? So, but nothing like that was mentioned in the reading passage, so that's not right either. Being mellow. Hey, I'm mellow, right? You can be mellow, but they didn't talk about that in the passage. Teenagers don't try to be mellow, right? They want to be cool, right? So mellow is not the answer, of course. So cool. Being cool is important for many teenagers. Teenagers want to be cool. They want to be fun. They want to be fashionable. They want to have the latest trend. They want to follow the latest trend. They want to be cool. Okay. And that's there. Okay, so for most people, copying their favorite stars is what? We talked about this. They don't always do it, right? They're not always into it. So for most people, copying their favorite stars is what? Usually just a phase, ridiculous while they do it, a little cold, or an example of slang. So actually, we can go really quickly here. For most people, copying their favorite stars is usually just a phase. It means that they will stop doing it after a little while, right? It's just a phase in their life. They're copying their favorite stars. They're not going to do it all the time. It's just a phase. It's usually just a phase. Not ridiculous while they do it. They don't think it's ridiculous. They think it's cool. So it's not this. You know, other people might think it's ridiculous, but they don't think so. C, a little cold. Again, they're trying to trick you. Cool doesn't mean cold. It means fun. And D, an example of slang? No way, that's just obviously incorrect. An example of slang is words, not copying their favorite stars. Slang is not behavior, slang is words and vocabulary, right? So that's not right. The answer, of course, is A. For most people, copying their favorite stars is usually just a phase. Okay, usually just a phase, as we have here. Okay, let's review. The lesson title was Too Cool. We learned many things in the reading passage. One, we saw that music can change more than just our emotions. So remember when I talked about this passage is organized in a very common way that people will write, in a very common organizational pattern for writing. You start out with a topic, music. You get a little bit more specific, right? And then you get very narrow, focused onto your topic. And this is one of the steps in becoming more focused. Music can change emotions, but not just emotions, more than just emotions. Music can change the way we dress and talk too. That's more specific, and that is what the passage was about. That's like the topic sentence or the thesis for this passage. 3, as teenagers grow older, most of them start copying or stop copying their favorite music stars. So as teenagers grow older, as they leave their teenage years behind, they become 20-somethings, right? Most of them, not all of them, but most of them stop copying their favorite music stars. Because if they don't stop copying, they look kind of ridiculous, right? Okay, so that's very interesting facts or interesting ideas that we learned about music. And remember, music can change not just your emotions, but also the way people behave, the way they dress, and the way that they talk. Okay, there's an interesting lesson, I hope. I hope you've learned a lot, especially new vocabulary, and also a little bit about how to organize writing as well, too, and understanding the way that people write, and also the reading passage. Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.